This is Roger.
Join me over coffee as we delve into topics that affect our everyday lives. Today I'm in conversation with Donna Logue, who is a registered yoga teacher. And we're in our conversation today, we're going to be talking about mindfulness and stress management. And I am so glad that she is here today because I need help. And thank you, Donna, for being here. Now, mindfulness, movement, and music has been your theme, and I read that in Connecting the Sound, a little magazine that we received because of the area that we live in. And this is just the perfect time. The stresses that we're experiencing right now, because our winter weather has decided to flash back. We have a political landscape right now with just having a provincial election, and now we're heading into a federal election. And then we have our sovereignty in question coming from our neighbors to the south. And last week my computer died. So
yes.
So the cosmic something or other is happening, and I am so grateful to have this conversation with you today. Please help me.
That's a big responsibility, but I will do the best I can. And you're right, when you're recalling all of the things that are going on in the world and just in our everyday lives, it is a lot. So I feel that the best thing that we can have is our grounding and our breath. So we don't realize that we're holding on all the time. You could be tight all through here from the pelvic floor all the way up in any part of your body. And sometimes we just forget to breathe. And we have to breathe out. We have to get rid of some bad stuff that's in there. So I can do that with you for a quick second if you like to breathe.
I would love that.
So I often start my yoga class like this. I would say, let's take our left hand to our heart, our right hand, solar plexus, just above your belly button. And I'll say, let's close your eyes. Put a little smile on your face. Let your subconscious know that you're okay. Tell yourself you're okay. And we will breathe in through the nose. And then out through the mouth. And it's good to make that sound too. So let's breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, right to the bottom. And we'll do that one more time. And hopefully this time we're feeling heavier where we're through our sit bones and through our body. Our shoulders have come down a little bit. We can look at each other again. The shoulders have come down, perhaps feel heavy in your sit bones. The belly is relaxed. Go down through to your legs, through to your feet. Make sure they're solid on the ground. Breathe normally now. And let's listen for your heartbeat. Feel the heartbeat through your body. Continuing that nice breath. And letting go if you can. We can relax now. In yoga, there's lots of different forms, genres. And one of them is a yoga nidra, and that's almost like a sleep yoga, where you can find a class, you can look it up. There's teachers in the area that do it. You can even look it up on YouTube as well, Yoga Nidra, N-I-D-R-A. And what you'll find is that this puts you in a state of calm and relaxation. And I like to start that class by actually showing you where perhaps you are tense. So I'll say, let's scrunch up our face and then let it go. Let's hold the right arm all the way down to the hand and let it go. And we go through all parts of the body till we get to the very end, and then we let it go. and we relax, we do our breathing, and then we can listen to a meditation, have a visualization of something that's good and happy. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I do. Try to quiet the mind, if we can. And the way you quiet your mind when you do that is when I'm squeezing this hand and holding, I'm not thinking about anything else. This is all I'm thinking about. My brain is focused here, and then it's focused on relaxing. I'm not thinking about politics. I'm not thinking about what's going on, because you've tricked your brain to go to your body and to ground yourself within that. Subconscious is about 90 to 95% of our brain, and that's the stuff that's picked up all the energy, the Vata energy that's out there, that's blowing around, the stuff that's going on, the monkey noise with the monkey brain. It's picking it up all the time, and it's your memories. And so that part of the brain that's there for you to actually use the coping, we can turn that, or tell the subconscious that you're okay, and that we can become calm. So another one is restorative yoga. If you can find a restorative yoga class, my kiddos, when I taught in high school, would come to class and say, Logue, can we do restorative yoga? And that would be putting the kids into that, laying on the floor, turning the lights down a little bit low, and doing a visualization with them, so yoga nidra actually, or just having them be calm and doing a sound bath around them. So when you mentioned music, so mindfulness, we just talked about, I'll talk about music. Music is my background, that is my degree, and I taught music through my whole life. So I was always curious about how sound waves can interact with the body, the physical body, and with our minds, obviously. And so I took, there's a great crew out, Lotus Sound, out in Collingwood. So I've taken a course with them, and we would experiment with bowls, sound bowls, all kinds of different vibrations. And you'll find that at the end of a sound bath, sound bathing, your blood pressure has lowered. Your blood pressure is actually lowered because the waves interact with the cells in your body. And I like to tell people, like, you know, when you're at a show, or at a wedding, sorry, or at a dance, and Mamma Mia comes on, Dancing Queen.
Oh, yes.
We all jump up, we're all excited, we're all like dancing away, right? We're doing our thing. It's just the body reacting to sound, to music. So it's the same with perhaps calming us down. We can do sound bathing, which is incredible. Then the other part of that was movement. So we have to move our bodies to keep the stress away. Our bodies were meant to move. We have to open up our bodies. We should open the chest. We should open like we were when we were little kids, and we would play and jump and move the lymphatic system by jumping and tapping. So there's classes like that out there too. I put all these in all my classes, actually. We dance. We do 2 dances. Every yoga class, we get our heart rates up, and we actually get the lymphatic system moving. We build our little muscles that are attached to the bigger ones, and we laugh, and we're silly. And we create that sense of community that keeps us grounded through these times. Well, so those are the things we do.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. But I'm wondering about folks who are at home and don't always have the opportunity to get out to the different classes. But these are things that they could just do within their own home.
That's right.
Like when a song comes on the radio or on your listening device, whichever it could be, dance to it.
Yes.
Move to it. I know, Mamma Mia. That is one of the movies that we have in our house that whenever I'm at my really, really low point, I will go and I'll watch the whole movie and dance through it like, whoa,
yes.
Here I come. because it's so feel good.
Yes.
But I really like so much information you've given me and so many tips that I think I'm going to be using. But I find that when I get into bed at night, we've decided no more blue screens. When we get into bed, we can read our books, but no more. But it's so hard to leave that device. And so for days on end, I would hide it so that it wasn't within my sight line to go and check what's the next news flash that's come out that's disturbing. My doctor years ago told me to stop watching a particular news outlet, I won't mention it, because it was affecting my blood pressure. So I don't. I watch Canadian news. I take in a more measured approach to news, a more balanced approach to news. And usually I do that when I'm on the treadmill, so that I'm moving at the same time I'm listening. So I'm trying to keep that movement. Every night I'm on the treadmill, just a nice clip walk, not a fast pace, but something, and then do a lot of stretching.
Excellent.
Either both or both, either before or after, depending on the day. But I like the concept of focusing on the body. I hadn't thought of that before.
That's what I was going to say to you. It sounds like you're doing all the right things. So then at night, how about you do that? Tense up in all parts of the body, including the pelvic floor. We hold a lot here. We're like, we don't even know that we're holding on. And do that and see at the end if you can just breathe, and perhaps you will just go to sleep.
I find that I will sleep for 2 hours and then I'm up. Or something gets locked into my brain and I can't, and I try to override it with, I'm going to have a deep and restful sleep. And I keep saying that, a deep and restful sleep. My eyes pop open, something's in there, I have to get up and walk around and try and change what's there.
Yes, so I mean, we're all just like trying our best, right? Trying to figure it out, because I'm not a doctor, so I don't really know. But something I've read and something I can do, that I do is put those things that are coming up from your subconscious that aren't allowing you to sleep, put them into a bubble and let them just float away. Acknowledge them and say bye. Put them, float them down the river. Let them go into the atmosphere. Maybe just try that. Let them go. Just put them out there.
Well, because usually it's not a problem I can solve. It's just something.
Exactly. So that's the other part, is that we can't change a lot of things. We can only change the way we act towards them. And you've heard that. We've all heard that a million times. So when you really have to put that into practice, it's like, well, what can I do about this? I can just let that go. It's there tomorrow. I can let that go. I can not stop doing these things if it's political, right? I can stop doing these things. I can start doing these things. I cannot talk to that toxic person for a while. I can and choose what my boundaries are around that. It's the only thing you can do.
I'm glad you're talking about boundaries, because that can cause a lot of stress just in our interpersonal lives. And so setting boundaries is something that it takes a long time to actually know what your boundaries are and how you want to enforce them, so that you're not making enemies and you're not being cruel or mean. You're just kind of holding your place. Because I find that when I'm really stressful, it's all here. Like I can feel it in my arms and just like, ooh. And then I have to put my hands behind my back. And try and, let's bring this conversation to, let's just talk about the issue and not necessarily draw in a lot of emotion.
That's right. So I would use my breath then. Use that breath. My family members will say, "Mom, what's wrong?" Because they hear me breathing. So I'm like, And no, it actually just feels good. I'm doing it because it feels good at that moment. And my partner that I do special yoga things with, Anne-Marie, she taught me the power of the pause. You don't have to always say everything, and you can wait to say it.
Yes.
You just come back to that. Things like that are very powerful. And I also believe that people only respect you if you set up the same boundaries that they're giving to you. I'm like, well, that's shocking to me because I would do this, I would do that, I would do this. And I'm like, hey, they don't respect me because I'm not setting up those same kind of boundaries, which I actually admire or like.
Yeah.
So then when I put those into place, there's a lot of respect going back and forward. So you definitely have to show people that that you have your boundaries and this is what they are. And you don't ever have to say those words either. You just say, no, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to do for me.
Often I will say, I think I need more time to process this information.
Excellent, yeah.
And that is not being mean or being a front or anything like that. It's just saying, I need more time to think about this.
Yeah.
And it's setting the boundaries so that I don't have to say, I think that's garbage, but
Right.
I can be respectful. And I think that's really important. One of the things that is really important to me is to always be kind and to always be respectful. And when I'm in situations where it's really hard for me to understand this other person's point of view, I always have to, before I engage, I'm always saying to myself, always be kind and be respectful.
Yeah. It's hard though sometimes.
It is, because then it's all sitting here. And
that's not good because nobody cares that it's sitting there except you and your body. So you need to, we have to figure that out. We have to breathe. And I wonder if physically, have you, the ball therapy? This is something else we do in yoga. So you get like a nice ball or a yoga ball. My students love this. Even from the dollar store, you can get a hard ball. And put the ball into your muscles here. And lay on it, perhaps, or put it up against a wall, and it's like having a deep massage.
Oh yeah.
And releasing, because all this is being held into through your body. If you're doing that with your arms, I would totally release those traps that you got there.
Oh, okay. Well, I have my Pilates balls
Yes.
that I use. They just fit my hands nicely, but I use them for exercise. So I've never thought of using them at the back of my
But don't put it on bone. Don't put it on your spine. We're going to put it into the muscles that are right
into
in here.
the muscle.
Never on the bones.
Oh, okay. Well, I often see my husband in our family room lying down with the tennis ball, but that's because underneath. But that's because he's a golfer.
Yeah.
And he's trying to relax the muscles in
That's
his
the same
back.
idea. That's
so
what he's
it's the
doing.
Same thing.
He's ahead of you there. There you go.
Oh, I'll have
Should
to
have
get
shared
my
that
own.
with you.
I'll have to
That's
get
what
my
he's
own.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's
Oh.
so do that. Like our brain is so incredibly powerful, and if you already know that you're angry and you're tensing up, your brain knows it's going to go to your arms because you're waiting for it to go to your arms.
Okay.
So
So
change that. Trick it. Think I'm relaxed. If you're going to get into a conversation with someone or you're going somewhere where you're not going to be too happy, relax yourself before you go.
So if I use a lot of those strategies before I even leave the house,
There you go.
or before I'm on the phone, then that's going to help me maintain my boundaries and maintain what is important to me, and that is to be kind and respectful. But I never thought of yoga as being part of managing other people that I'm having difficulty with.
Well, because you're managing yourself, and then you're putting up your boundaries. See, with yoga, it's all about it's teaching the whole body. It's your mind, your spirit, your body. It's not just physical exercises. The asanas are probably the least part of yoga, in a way. I'm probably getting in trouble for saying that, but it's the whole person. It's the whole idea of walking through life as calm as you can be, as fit as you can be, as happy as you can be, and kind, for sure.
Well, I tend to think that, as we age, our lives become more complicated. Our physical abilities are not quite the same. We run into some medical issues and things like that. And so we don't always have the same capacity that we had when we were younger to deal with a lot of situations. So I find that what I try to do is be prepared. Be prepared for acknowledge what doesn't work the same way as it used to work, and then start to navigate how to change or how to manage with the skills that I still have. I know that as we age, we do lose some motion, some physical abilities, some mental abilities. Sometimes it's eyesight, sometimes it's temperament. And so yoga is going to help ground you and get you through a lot of those situations by limiting or releasing those frustrations. Now, it's not hard on the body, because I don't do yoga, but I do a lot of things sort of similar, but it's not hard on the body if you're a senior and don't have the mobility.
Right. There are all kinds of classes out there. I'm sure there's chair yoga, so we could be sitting here doing the kind of movements, the same kind of movements, so like perhaps bending forward, perhaps opening up, a side lunge, that kind of thing. So there are, there's also gentle yoga, a beginner yoga. There are those classes out there. And I often start with a bunch of new people, and they say, I don't know if I should come. I'm a senior, I haven't done it before, but my doctor has told me to go to a yoga class because balance is so important. Balance, balance, balance. So then I know, you know what? We start out on the floor, we might not get off of the floor for the first 30 minutes because we've got perhaps a strap and we're working, getting right up into the hip sockets. We're doing the lubrication up into the hip sockets. We're doing pelvic floor. Maybe we're in a bridge and we're rolling out our spine. We've got our legs in the air and we've got the strap. Everything is supported. And those things you should be doing throughout your whole life, because if we don't use it, we lose it, number one. And feeling strong within yourself and flexible is another part of that whole mental piece. So anybody can do yoga. It's not like what I even remember it as or thought of it as. I still cannot stand on my head. I have tried, and that's the big joke. Don't worry, you're not standing on your head this week. I used to be able to stand on my head. I could do handstands and headstands and things, but I was a kid. And I got into yoga about the last 10 years, seriously. So, and I have been put into those positions, but there is no way I'm going to do that with new students. So, but there are classes out there that will do that. So you have to research. If you really want to, and you have to talk to that yoga teacher and say, you know, this is what's going on with me. Will your class suit me? People come with bad knees, so I know that I'm not going to be doing stuff in the knees if a couple of those people are in the classroom that day.
But you want to do something to strengthen your knees. This is what I found, what I was doing, noticing the difference in my balance. Okay, so now I'm focusing on exercises that are going to support my balance.
Good,
and fortunately, my hips and my knees are still working. And so I can do a lot of things, but not at the same level as what I used to be able to do.
And that's okay.
So you, as my son says, if it hurts, Mom, you got to stop. He's a physiotherapist.
Right.
And so he gives me a lot of guidance in terms of managing the hips and the knees and that sort of thing. So I work on that. But I think going back to the one thing, when your body feels good, so is your confidence.
Yes, for sure.
And we want to see women with straight backs.
I was going to get to that next. Yes, the way we stand is very important, right? Like, because I'll often say, okay, everybody, let's stand. I'm going to look at everybody and I'll say, lift your toes. And people rock back. And then put your toes down. That's how you should be standing. Because we're often standing this way. So that creates a lot of, we're always going forward. It's this energy of moving forward, moving forward, moving forward. To stand in place, at that grocery store, at the bank, wherever you have to stand, lift your toes, then put your toes back down. Try not to rock forward. Have a slight little bend in the knee. Tuck your sit bones down, maybe zip up a bit here and stand, and that's called mountain pose. And you're pretty strong if you can do that. And so, my teacher, Beth Ruddy, giving little shout outs, she would take a broomstick and try to line us up sideways and see, you know, how far you're falling, that kind of thing. Very interesting. And that's something you can do without going to a class. Just seeing if you're standing properly, because if you're standing properly, you're breathing properly. You've got your diaphragm, 2 diaphragms. When you breathe in, they go down. When you breathe out, they come up. If you're like this, you're not breathing. And that's how we started this, was learn to breathe. Sit up or stand. Make sure that you're supported. You sit on a yoga block, or some people come to class and they're cross-legged and they think they're pretty clever. And I'm like, let's get that block, let's support ourselves, get on the bolster, and line up the diaphragms to breathe. Very important, especially with our phones and computers.
Well, this is a problem when I'm working on the computer. You're leaning forward, and you're not focused on your posture. You're more focused on what you're trying to navigate on the computer, and that's another level of stress altogether. So really, and I do notice, as you mentioned, that I don't breathe the same way when I'm working on the computer as I am if I'm baking, which I love to do.
Yes, good.
In the kitchen and kneading dough and things like that. So I think, yes, so we do have different postures for different activities that we're doing. And I'm getting the I'm getting the sign. Thank you, Dan, that we have come to the end of the program.
Okay.
And this has been so delightful. Thank you so much.
I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
And join us next time over coffee.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details. Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
This guy is just next level.
Bilal Muhammad.
He's one of the greatest to ever do it.
Jack Della Maddalena.
He has dynamite in his hands.
This woman is an assassin.
Valentina Shevchenko.
A legend in the game.
Manon Bureau.
She is a force to be reckoned with.